thank you for tuning into my channel. I'm doing something a little bit different today, but I like giving recommendations, and I find I read a lot of these isekais in my spare time, so why not be productive with it? This is just an isekai section for this, even though I do read a lot of manhwa and just webcomics in general, but there's a lot of isekai, so I figured might as well just do its own little section for it. I started off not being the biggest fan of isekais, but they've been growing on me a lot, especially the ones where they don't take over a body or where it barely has to do with the plot, because then I can just treat it like a normal fantasy. But calling an isekai is just clearly an attention grabber. The ones on this list, though, are some of the more unique ones I find. Also, there will be some mild spoilers. So coming in at number 5 is Charming the Cold Duke of the North. This one is last out of 5, but I really enjoy it. An actress is brought into a fantasy world and immediately runs into the Duke, who she agrees to be his fake fiancé for. A part about this isekai that I really like, because it's unique, is the fact that she keeps her own body, and the Duke immediately knows she's not from their world. There's no secret about it between them, there's no weird, insecure, guilt feelings about it. They all know. The romance is also really good. It's got some mild slow burn tendencies, but their chemistry is really nice, and he is so adorable. He gets so shy with her, and he's still the strong kind of guy. He just kind of fumbles around her in certain aspects, and it's just so adorable. I really like their romance. Number 4 is The Possessive Tyrant and His Sleeping Cat. This one is still new, so it's number 4, but I could see it getting to number 1, I'm going to be honest. It's been really good so far. The plot is like a basic isekai, except she gets turned into a cat. But not just a cat, she turns into a human when she's sleeping, but she has no idea. But he does, because he slept beside her and found a human in his bed all of a sudden. Then when she woke up, she was a cat again. For jokes, he decides not to tell her, and it's really funny. Just their interactions is really funny, especially since we know what's going on and she just doesn't. The isekai does play a role, but I'm happy because she didn't take over some depressed woman's body, that we know of. And it's been very cute. The relationship has been very cute so far, and the male lead is showing some mild yandere tendencies, which is a plus. It's not enough to call him a red-flagged yandere, but just enough to itch that need for the possessive and jealous stuff. Because while red flag yanderes are fun sometimes, I tend to like my romances to be more green flag, and I just like my red flag yanderes to be like the second male lead, you know? The villain. But having him be like possessive, except still a good guy, is quite nice. And I really like the comedy, as I mentioned. Number 3 is I Will Be the Villain's Poison Taster. I might have wrecked that a little bit, but you get the drill. This one is definitely up here for the male lead. He is so fun and attractive, and it's just, I like him a lot. Basically, she's taken over some villainess's body and is on the run. She gets a job from the main villain because it kind of keeps her safe. And it's funny because she's pretending to be the villainess, but he immediately knows that is not the real villainess. He likes her though. He likes the real her, which is something that I really like. I always feel iffy when the male lead falls in love with someone without really knowing the person they're falling for. That's kind of like the reason I don't quite like the isekais. It just always scratches the wrong itch. I wasn't a fan of that. The comedy is also quite nice, and the friendship dynamics between them and the group is fun. Plus their chemistry is great. And again, male lead, 10 out of 10. Love him. Number 2 is The Perks of Being a Villainess. This one is really good, and I just really like her. Like, she is genuinely really fun. Most of the female leads in my list have unique personalities, because I absolutely hate the whole constantly selfless and generous female lead. Like, their entire personality is just them helping other people. It's so annoying. I'm sorry. It's just so annoying. Girls can be good, yes. Girls can also sometimes not be good. Sometimes they can have flaws, and I feel like writers just need to understand that sometimes. Sorry, going off on a tangent. But this female lead is smart, deceptive, and she's accidentally hostile a lot. Because she's the villainess and people have seen her as a villainess, she'll say things and people take it as her being a threat when she just is clueless in that point. And I don't know, it's really funny. She's also sometimes hostile on purpose, which is nice. I don't like too much of a red flag girl, but I like them to have flaws, you know? It's been a slow burn with the male lead, but it's worth it. Their dynamic is great because she doesn't know that she has a dynamic with him half the time. I'm not going to spoil it, but he is a precious gem. He is funny, he is attractive, and he is jealous, and it's awesome. Green flags all around once more for him. So this one has been my ultimate favorite so far. Much like number 4, she starts out as an animal, a crow. She helps save the main hero and they bond together, and they are such green flags together. The way he dotes over her is so cute and the character designs are just so pretty. I didn't expect her to be able to pull off a mullet, but she does. Like, it is beautiful. Her human form is so nice and the outfits she gets are just so good. And the comedy is the best in the list. I can't remember the last time I laughed my butt off while reading a manhwa in general. I kept screenshotting it and sending it to my roommates, who didn't care, but I was still happy to do so. It also just recently finished, so if you want a good binge, this is the way to go. So this list is a very light-hearted list, not much angst in them. If you follow my channel, you might get the idea that I do quite like angst. A lot of the little animatics I do, kinda angsty. But I figured this one would just be kind of more lighthearted at first, just to kind of show it off. And they are fun, even without all the angst. But I mean, seeing like a comedy character going through some stuff, that's my type of tea. And if you like that too, you should check out my webtoon, Broken Eye is a Witch's Tale, link in the bio. Small plug. But anyways, thank you all for joining, and let me know if you have any recommendations you think I would like, or if you agree with my list, or if you just want different recommendations. Maybe even an angsty list like I mentioned. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye bye!